You were taught to be patient, to be loyal, to fix, to prove your worth. But no one ever told you this. If a woman brings no value to your life, you owe her nothing, not your energy, not your time, not even your explanation. And when the moment comes, because it always comes, you walk away, without guilt, without hesitation, without mercy. Because here's what most men never learn. The longer you tolerate her absence of value, the faster she loses all respect for you. And once that respect is gone, everything else is too. Today, you're going to discover why staying with a woman who adds nothing to your life is the most dangerous decision you can make, with the spirit of Machiavelli guiding you, and how walking away, coldly, strategically, isn't cruelty. It's survival. Stay until the end, because each rule reveals a truth most men never hear, and each truth has the power to permanently change the way you approach women, power, and yourself. Rule 1. Her stagnation disguised as loyalty is poison. Most men don't collapse because of heartbreak. They collapse because they stayed too long with a woman who brought them nothing. No admiration, no emotional fuel, no vision. Just routine, silence, resistance. And still, they stayed. Why? Because she wasn't that bad. Because she didn't cheat. Because they were afraid to be alone. Because they didn't want to be the villain. But Machiavelli would laugh at that mindset. He taught that the greatest danger to a ruler isn't an obvious threat. It's the illusion of peace from someone who quietly undermines him. A leader should never confuse peace with productivity. Let's make this real. Picture this. You come home from a long day building your business. She doesn't greet you. She's on her phone talking to her friend about irrelevant drama. You try to share your win. She barely looks up. And when you ask her about her goals, she shrugs. Nothing. Not support. Not admiration. Not even curiosity. Now amplify that 365 times. That's your year. You think you're in a relationship, but in truth, you're in emotional limbo, slowly eroding. Here's your next strategic move. Stop asking, is she toxic? Start asking, does she multiply my power or dilute it? Because if she doesn't build, fuel, or protect your fire, she doesn't deserve your warmth. Remember this. If she drains you silently, she destroys you slowly. Let's move to the next rule. Because the biggest danger isn't her presence. It's the lie she convinces you to believe. Rule 2. Her chaos is not a personality. It's a strategy. You think she'll evolve. You think your patience will inspire her. You think the more you love her, the more she'll rise to your level. But you're wrong. She won't change. She'll adapt. Not to grow, but to maintain her comfort. Machiavelli warned us that when people are comfortable in their power, they will resist any evolution that requires effort. Those who gain power through ease resist any change that demands sacrifice. Imagine this. You're a man with vision. You talk about investments, business, travel, building a legacy. She nods, smiles, pretends to listen. But behind the smile, no alignment, no ambition, no reflection. You keep giving. You try to lead. You try to teach. But months go by. Nothing shifts. And one day, you realize she doesn't want to grow. She wants to survive in your orbit without ever igniting her own. Here's a tactic to apply. Never measure her words. Measure her movement. Ask, has she upgraded her mindset since you met her? Has she taken action toward your shared vision? Has she asked how she can make your life easier, smoother, more focused? If not, you're not with a woman. You're with a passenger pretending to be a partner. Let this sink in. Her love isn't tested by what she says, but by how much energy she adds to your mission. Now we move deeper, because sometimes she does offer value, but it's strategically empty, and you don't even see it. Rule 3. Fake value is worse than no value. Some women don't bring chaos, they bring performance. They act supportive, they offer compliments, they give you just enough effort to keep you confused. But nothing they offer is rooted in substance, and most men fall for it, because the illusion of value is more seductive than the absence of it. Machiavellian logic. The most dangerous enemy is not the one who attacks, but the one who flatters without ever serving your purpose. Here's what can happen to you. You're building a brand. She's always around. She watches your content, says it's cool, posts a story, but she never asks how she can help, never suggests an idea, never pushes you forward. She wants credit for proximity, not contribution. Here's your smart play. Run a simple test. Next time you face pressure, business, family, ambition, ask yourself, did she ease that tension or increase it? If she vanished, added noise, or made it about her, that's your answer. Don't lose sight of this. A woman who can't handle your worst days doesn't deserve your best years. And now comes the hardest truth of all. Even when she brings nothing, you'll still want to stay. Why? Let's talk about that next. Rule 4. The most dangerous attachment is to nothing. You don't stay because she's powerful. You stay because she's familiar. Her chaos is predictable. Her silence is comforting. Her lack of support is what you've normalized. And that's the trap. Machiavelli would say, the worst prisons are not built with walls, they're built with routine. Every man thinks he's free, but most are addicted to a woman who gives them nothing. Why? Because walking away would require one thing: discomfort. You'd have to rebuild your emotional world. You'd have to sit alone with your ambition. You'd have to unlearn your attachment to noise. So instead, you stay. Here's what can happen to you. You keep scrolling through your phone, hoping she texts. You excuse her distance as she's just tired. You chase emotional scraps like they're gold. You mistake a breadcrumb of validation for a feast of love. And every time she withdraws, you blame yourself. But here's the Machiavellian truth. The mind that is desperate for affection becomes loyal to its captor. And the longer you wait, the weaker you become. Here's your strategic move. Break the cycle, not with drama, but with silence. Don't argue, don't explain, don't punish. Simply disappear. Because nothing confuses a manipulative woman more than the man who finally stops explaining himself. This next part is critical. Even when you leave, the addiction will scream. Your brain will tell you she'll change. Your heart will say just one last conversation. Your fear will whisper, you'll never find better. But none of that is love. It's trauma dressed as loyalty. And the deeper the trauma, the harder it is to see what she really is. So in the next part, we'll expose it. Exactly how to recognize the most dangerous kind of woman, even when she looks perfect on the outside. Rule 5. She triggers you, then calls you weak. Not all traps come with yelling. Some come with a smile. Most men watch out for fights, but the smartest ones watch out for silence, softness, seduction. Because the most dangerous women don't attack your strength. They dissolve it. slowly, sweetly, subtly. Machiavelli would say, corruption never appears as destruction. It appears as pleasure. This is how she tests you. She never tells you to stop chasing your mission. She just makes comfort more attractive than discipline. She doesn't argue with your goals. She just wants a bit more time. She never blocks your ambition. She just waits and feeds you softness until you stop chasing what matters. You won't even notice it happening. Here's what this looks like in your life. You skip the gym to cuddle, once, then twice. You miss your content deadline because she showed up late. You postpone your project because she really needed to talk. She makes herself the emergency, and you reward it. Then one day you wake up, and the man you were building is gone, softened, distracted, tired, and she says, "You've changed." Here's the power move. Stop being polite with your time. Test her instead. Tell her, "I have 3 hours to work. I'll call you after." If she respects that, she's aligned. If she creates drama, she was never here to build with you. Machiavelli knew this deeply. Those who distract you from your purpose are no different than your enemies. And the hardest part? She'll never look like an enemy. She'll look like affection, like attention, like love. But if her love requires you to shrink, it's not love. It's camouflage. Next, we go even deeper. There's a type of woman who won't just distract you. She'll mirror everything you want to get inside your life. And once she does, she'll rewire your purpose from the inside. Rule 6. She mirrors you to infiltrate your mind. She doesn't love your mission. She imitates it to gain your trust. Some women don't argue with your power. They imitate it. Not because they share it, but because they want to be close enough to control it. It starts beautifully. She gets your jokes. She quotes your content. She loves your goals. She says all the right things, and you believe her, because she sounds just like you. But Machiavelli would say, the imitator is more dangerous than the enemy, because he hides under your name. This woman is not just in your life. She's studying you. She mirrors your words, mirrors your beliefs, mirrors your pain, and most men fall right into it, because it feels rare. It feels deep. It feels like finally, someone gets me. But it's not depth, it's design. Here's what this looks like in real life. You talk about discipline, and she posts a quote about it. You share your favorite book, and suddenly she's reading it too. You vent about fake people, and she agrees, passionately. But watch her actions. When you're tired, does she encourage rest or push you forward? When you're winning, does she cheer or subtly compete? When things get hard, does she stay or blame the energy? Here's your strategic move. Stop listening to what she echoes. Watch what she executes. Give her space. Let silence reveal what mimicry hides. Because the woman who truly shares your vision will never need to imitate it. She'll add to it. Machiavelli knew this well. The woman who flatters you most is often preparing your fall. You think you've found your twin flame, but what you've found is a mirror designed to disarm you. And once you're disarmed, she'll reshape your world, quietly, efficiently, permanently, unless you're smart enough to spot the next form she takes. In the final rule, we expose the last mask, the one that ruins even the strongest men. Rule 7. She submits to control you. Some women don't fight your power. They surrender so you lower your guard. This is the highest level trap. Not all toxic women resist your dominance. Some accept it. They agree with you, follow your lead, play the perfect woman, not because they believe in your power, but because they know how to make you abandon it. Machiavelli would say, "No fortress is more easily taken than the one that opens its gates." You think you've found peace. She lets you lead. She praises your mission. She doesn't argue. She flows with everything you say. But what you don't see is this. Her surrender is her strategy. Here's what happens. You become soft. You stop testing. You stop watching. You stop protecting your energy because she's safe. And that's when she moves. Not through defiance, but through access. Suddenly, she's influencing your decisions, telling you which friends are bad for your growth, giving advice that redirects your path, pushing ideas that serve her, not you. You no longer dominate. You're being managed, and you allowed it because you mistook compliance for compatibility. In real life, it looks like this. She never complains when you work, but over time, your hours drop because she misses you. She supports your business, but always has a better idea. She follows your lead, but makes you feel guilty when you don't include her. You're not leading a woman. You're negotiating with a strategist. Here's how you break the spell. Create a boundary she doesn't like, and hold it. Say no to a plan. Delay a call. Prioritize your vision. Then watch. If she respects it, she's real. If she resents it, she was never surrendering. She was setting you up. Machiavelli knew those who submit too quickly are often preparing to rule you in return. This is the last mask, and the hardest to detect because it flatters your ego. She plays the good woman, but behind the softness, she's building leverage. And if you let her, you'll trade your empire for a hug, your fire for her comfort, your strength for her smile. Don't fall for it. She doesn't want to follow you. She wants to reshape you from inside your own castle. Unless you do this one final thing, let's wrap everything together now and give you the full perspective. The final message is next. Now the masks are off, not just hers, the entire game. The compliments that dull your edge, the chaos that drains your focus, the softness that weakens your grip, the reflection that flatters only to control. Every move was a test, not of your charm, of your discipline. Would you trade the empire you're building for a smile that costs your throne? Machiavelli would say, "The prince who lasts isn't the one most loved, but the one who senses betrayal inside affection." So here's the truth. You weren't made to be ruled. You weren't made to explain your fire. You weren't made to shrink when love looks convenient. You are steel. You are direction. You are the silence that commands rooms. You are the hand that holds the crown, not the heart that begs to wear it. Most men forget. You won't. You don't chase approval. You build momentum. You don't fold for comfort. You stay sharp. Because once you stop needing softness to feel whole, you become untouchable. No woman can trap you. No system can break you. No past can hold you. From now on, speak like a man who writes his own fate. Move like a man who bends reality. Choose like a man who remembers his mission. If this opened your eyes and you're serious about becoming the man who's in full control of his life, my book is now available. The Undeniable Man, Built to be Chosen. It's a strategic guide for men who want to attract, lead, and dominate in their love life and beyond. Whether you're single or in a relationship, no fluff, no tricks, just pure, powerful strategy that will set you apart from 99% of men, and that you will actually use every day. The link is in the description. And if this video spoke to you, don't just keep your thoughts in your head. Write a comment, even just a few words. It helps you remember these lessons, and it might help someone else too. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this content, and share it with someone who, in your eyes, needs it right now. Just trust your instinct. We're all trying to get clearer, more solid inside. So let's build minds that don't break.